Cliquez, Yaoundé, caused by a stampede this morning. And what actually caused the stampede? Every Monday in this school, there is an assembly where children are meant to sing the national anthem. And those who were late were told to stay out of the gate and come in after the assembly. But then when the small gate was opened, everybody wanted to enter at the same time. And that is how the stampede occurred. And from the report we are getting here from the senior divisional officer from Fundi, Emmanuel Mare Jigdent, who rushed here to take stock of the situation, he says 21 students were involved in the incident, and that all the 21 are responding to treatment in the hospital. That is, there is no death, contrary to what many have already spread on the social media.
We want to say that there is no death here. We had 21 wounded, and we want to ensure that there is no death. They can go and to the hospital to see. Nobody is dead, no children. And
the forces of law and other mixed forces of gendarme, police have been here trying to regularize the situation, which degenerated to violence and the destruction of property in school. Like the car you can see behind me, the car has been totally damaged. Likewise, the car of the principal of the institution. And at the moment, all the students have been sent home for security reasons. And the senior divisional officer for Fundi has called on the parents to remain calm, that everything will be under control for classes to effectively restart in these institutions. From the government bilingual high school, Yaoundé, Haisincha and Raoul.
Behind these hidden cameras are voices of students in some government high schools in Douala, recounting frightening tales of how they are being flogged in school at the least error by their teachers. In my school, students are beaten for whatever reason or motives. When you come late, you're flogged. No punitive measures. You are flogged and later punished again. Sometimes they beat you under your legs. Some teachers flog us in the classrooms. Sometimes they pull us down with their bare hands. The students told us whips have never disappeared. It is the only means used by the teachers to discipline them for unruly behavior. They narrate the teachers use whips when they fail to do their assignments. They say, besides the flogging, the teachers sometimes pull them down with their bare hands. At disciplinary measures they don't appreciate, but just have to bear. They flog us a lot. If it's not with a whip, they use their bare hands. The reason why some students are rebellious, because they are against such punitive methods. We all know flogging is banned in schools. Cases of corporal punishment are frequently reported in both government and private schools. A growing phenomenon that is being confirmed by experts at the regional delegation of secondary education.
Il y a un vieux texte qui date de 1998 qui proscrit l'usage du fouet en milieu scolaire.
The Sub-Director of General Affairs, Sona Salomon, reiterates how the April 14, 1998 law prohibits corporal punishment with sanctions taken against schools and teachers who violate such measures.
The fact that he can face the law.
He insists there exist acceptable and appropriate methods of sanctioning school children, which he specifies are included in the internal rules and regulations of different schools.
There to the stretch of highway from the fence of the Unity Palace to the Tongolo traffic lights or vice versa, their area of operation during the day like in the night. The victims fall in their traps, losing handbags and other valuables. The operation Saturday evening at around 6:30 p.m. ended fatal. One was shot and gave up the ghost there. 3 were wounded. The very serious case sent to hospital. One just surrendered himself. The 3 are presently at the detention unit of the 6th Police District in A2D. This dead member, carrying their operation weapon, a knife, what they use in frightening their victims to submission, especially the Christians from a church along this highway. That fateful evening, they seized the handbag of a young girl and taking their normal passage through these bushes to Tongolo neighborhood, they fell into a police officer who in the past 2 weeks have been waiting for this opportunity, especially after numerous complaints and investigations. It was at around 7 p.m. Struggling to change their course, the police inspector opened fire on the supposed thieves. One was brought down. He continued on the 4 others, wounding 3, with the one that surrendered. Around the area are handbags and all sorts of documents, papers, identity cards, and many are properties of victims along this criminogenic zone. This stretch of the HOD highway, like the many other unsafe areas in Yaoundé, are hubs of such hoodlums. Area they have decided to make their operation zone. The police investigation and operations have begun and will continue to ensure persons like properties are safe along this stretch of roads in our different neighborhoods.
On this decision dated December 18, 2023, the Minister of Justice announces this year's session of the Bar Council exam for March 23, 2024 in Yaoundé. An announcement which was received with delight as it comes 10 years after the last was organized. But a majority of potential candidates have been expressing dismay over an additional 50,000 CFA francs being demanded by the Cameroon Bar Council for the organization of the said exams. The additional fee demanded by the Bar Council violates the ministerial decision that demands just 10,000 CFA francs from candidates. It should be noted that candidates who wish to take the aptitude test do not have the status or remuneration to support such an amount. Asking them 50,000 CFA francs each is an abuse. The Bar Council sees this otherwise, reason it implemented the additional 50,000 CFA francs in order to meet the current economic realities.
Students have been asked to pay 50,000 francs. 30,000 francs is to cover the cost, supplementary cost for the running and organization of this examination. 20,000 francs is for seminar, classes, lectures to prepare the students to write the exams.
But the disgruntled candidates rather want the Chancellery to step in and resolve the issue or wish for a suspension of the exams until further notice, a decision which the Bar Council is not against.
It's really unfortunate that some people think that the Bar Council wants to extort money from candidates. It's wrong. The other option that the minister gave us was that either we wait when the decree will be amended to increase the amount of money, increase the fee, then the exams will be launched. But as the leader of the bar, we thought that it was better to permit the candidates supplement.
The Cameroon Bar Council is convinced the candidates are manipulated rather than encouraged to sit for the bar test. The president of the bar has expressed worries that hundreds of Cameroonian law students are currently frustrated in Rwanda after spending millions, yet they are refused admission into the Rwandan bar, and think this would have been a good opportunity for
In the absence of educational, health, and financial institutions that respect Islamic norms, Muslims in Cameroon have been obliged to use those of other religious orders. Very glued to their religion and customs, they have decided to change the trend of affairs as from the next 12 months. Rallied in Bamenda over the weekend, Muslims from the four corners of the country have devised a means of making their dreams come to fruition through the Cameroon Muslims Community Development Association, who intend collecting 100 francs per Muslim per day.
Is to gather the resources, the 100 francs daily per individual total for 12 months. That is our kick, the point where we have kick-started with, and we are not going to relent until we get all the money that we have preempted and we reach all the corners of Cameroon.
Notion is that people used to remove zakat and give to their friends, not to the real needy and so on. So in the course of learning and so on now, we're seeing that with zakat money too, they can do a lot of things too. So we are encouraging and also calling on those the wealthy ones, to actually put in their monies for zakat too, to actually do a lot for the Islamic discipline.
The commander of the 5th Gendarmerie region is one of the founding fathers of the initiative, who says Muslims will no longer depend on donors.
We want to stop being that community that await others to come and finance them, to give them the means to carry out development. As I was saying, there is no dignity for someone who always rely on others. We need to stop depending on others.
Installing the pioneer over 20-man executive, the SDO for Mezam, representing the governor, advised the cleansing of the Muslim-dominated Old Town neighborhood in Bamenda of drug addicts destroying the youths.
Fighting the abuse of drugs at Old Town is alarming that the youth are involved in that type of malpractice. That's why I came here to condemn it openly and ask the circuit that those who are practicing, those who are selling marijuana, cocaine, they should leave Old Town immediately.
Everything being equal, stricto sensu Islamic structures are expected to start sprouting in local communities in Cameroon. With political consultations imminent in the months ahead, Cameroon's electoral management body, ELECAM, has begun preparing the grounds. A visiting delegation has been to Bamenda for the Northwest region on Wednesday, January 17. Led by its president, Eno Abrams Egbe, and the Northwest board member, Gaspanga, the consultation meeting with representatives of political parties fine-tuned ways of improving on the 2019 polls.
This is that you should put all hands on board to make sure things work. You see, there's no point people go doing our games. They come to realize that they need to be each other's keepers to exercise. I'm glad that giving practical solutions to the pertinent problems of hindrances in the election administration.
Even the CPDM, that has an overwhelming majority of parliamentarians and mayors, knows that there is work to do.
At the level of my party, the first thing I realized with this meeting is we have more work to do. We have more work to do as a political party in order to consolidate the victories that we had in 2020.
As arbiter in the middle of the political field, ELECAM emphasizes on a level playing ground by advising actors to help put away the security crisis.
In most of the polling stations during the 2020 elections, all the vote casts were cast by our defense and security forces in favor of the CPDM. So we don't want that to happen. We want the local people to choose their leader and the leaders that will govern them, because they will have to take them to account when the time comes.
As presented by the Northwest Regional Delegate of ELECAM, Zofu Anjoya Sake, 15 political parties are currently working in 232 registration commissions with the target to enroll 27,000 potential voters between January 1 and August 31, when the registers are closed in accordance with the law.
It is 7 years and counting into the crisis, rocking the English-speaking regions of Cameroon with excruciating pains.
Affecting me, my entire family as a whole, because my parents had to move from the region because they had been attacked 3 times. So they finally had to abandon their home and move to be with me. So at one point in 2021, I actually had over 21 people living in my house.
The continuous escalation of the crisis with no definite solutions has led to the initiation of a new project baptized Going Back Memory Lane.
We realize as a space, an art space, we realize that Cameroonians don't understand the etymology of this conflict. And it was very important for us, to try to retrace it ourselves, not only for our understanding, but for, an understanding for the general public. So today actually is a restitution of the 1-year work that we've carried out, but also this work we've kind of confronted it to artistic creations from other artists who are talking about the Anglophone crisis.
We understood that the crisis was not they never started in 2016. The crisis started far beyond back in in decades of history of Cameroon, and 2016 was just a spark of it.
The project gives birth to digital archives, a website that will serve as content where decision makers, politicians, and other stakeholders can tap for definite solutions to the Anglophone crisis.
All what we've researched this 1 year, we're going to put it on a website that's free for public consumption, where scholars, researchers, students, politicians, parliamentarians, lawmakers can, dip in and look for solutions.
Because basically we have archives that are physical, and now we are creating something that is digital. People could go in these archives and research and know more about the crisis. They have facts. We have put a chunk of factual documents and historical figures that have made out their point of view, and it's clear, and they know what's happening. So with this digital archive, people will no more have to come to see people physically, but they can just tap on the internet and they will know about it. And
the project that was presented Saturday, January 20, 2024, pulled a crowd of personalities, including artists and Cameroonians who yearn to see an end to the Anglophone crisis. Works of art, talks, slams are some of the advocacy methods to press through for solutions.
TikTok has become an application that plays a prominent role in the lives of many children. With a diverse content, children are exposed to all sorts of materials.
Oui, ça aura forcément un impact négatif.
It really plays a negative impact on the child's head because this content influences the mental health of the child. It can push them to follow some type of things, most especially contents that are not good. TikTok in the base was for children, but adults have taken it and they pass contents that are not good.
Il les amène à faire ce que eux ils veulent faire qu'ils fassent.
This application has a great consequence on children's health. Catherine, a psychologist, enlightens some of these consequences.
Donc, il y a 2 choses fondamentales qu'il faut faire. Il faut l'aide.
There are fundamental things that us as parents we have to do. We have to educate our children and serve as example to them. We have to be able to educate our children on the good and bad things. We have to show them what to do and what not to do. And again, adding to the advice we give them, we are supposed to serve as an example. What do us parents also do on TikTok? What we like, our content. If you cannot do that, meaning the advice we give to our children is useless.
Ça aussi c'est important parce que
she provides methods to help mitigate some of the drawbacks associated on this application and social media at large.
Having a conversation with your child or your son, telling him why you are not allowed to, to visit this site because of this kind of picture that is not, is not good for his age, will help a lot. Because you cannot all the time make a police behind him.
Parents should have control to see what the children are watching. It can be to TV or to TikTok, WhatsApp.
Parents also share the strategies they use to control the content that children view on social media platforms. It should be noted that, apart from the negative impact TikTok may have on children's mental health, it also offers educational content that can benefit them. Therefore, it is crucial for parents to implement measures when allowing their children to use social media.